Hello viewers, Marianne from Revealing Light Tarot. How are we all today? Wherever you are in the world, I hope you're staying safe. And a big shout out, huge shout out to my American friends. And you know, know this, that the world looks on in absolute mortification, horror of what's going on in the US. And I can say this, I can say that I see this as the end of the Trump presidency unfolding. So with that in mind, I promised you a look at inspirational people. I have a wonderful long list from you, absolutely huge list of those living as well as those that have passed over. I'm going to be focusing on the living at this point in time, because I think these are the people that are here with us on this earth doing it tough. This is a huge transitional time, full of complications, complexities, difficulties. It is a very prophetic time as well in the Earth's history. So let's take a look at how these who are still with us, how they're managing to navigate these times. Of course, the first that I'm going to talk about is Michelle Obama. Michelle Obama came forward multiple times in your requests. She's one of my favorites. I think that she's just gorgeous. I've long admired that woman, and everything I've seen, my admiration just grows. So she's never let me down. She's never let me down. So let's take a look at Michelle Obama. I will do a chakra reading on Michelle Obama, and then I will ask in a Celtic Cross the question that most comes over my desk, so to speak, and that is, will she relent and be Joe Biden's VP? Now, she's made it very, very clear, as has Joe Biden, that she doesn't want to be the vice president. But I read a beautiful article that one of my viewers had sent me this week, really calling for her to seize the moment that the US needed her, and would she consider, because of the great need. Well, I still don't think that she wants this. I still don't think that she will, but we'll ask anyway. All right, so let's get started on Michelle Obama. Now, she grew up on the south side of Chicago, as we know. Her history is very well documented, including on the White House. So I've gone to the White House site to see what I can find. And of course, it is her bio is just incredible. So her father was a pump operator from the Chicago Water Department. Her mother stayed at home to raise the children. Michelle went to Chicago public schools and studied sociology and African American studies at Princeton before she went on to Harvard Law School and graduated from there in 1988. She joined a law firm where she met her husband, former President Barack Obama. And of course, we know that love story that was played out during Obama's presidency, and it was a joy to watch. We'll get to another first couple later, not in this reading. Something that is very telling, and you'd all know what I mean, but we're not going to sully this reading with that. We'll continue on. So after a few years, after joining that law firm, she was drawn toward community work, and she moved to serve as an assistant commissioner of planning and development in Chicago City Hall before becoming the founding executive director of the Chicago chapter of Public Allies, an American Corps program that prepares youth for public service. Some of this work, or some of this experience that she's had in the past, is driving the kind of work that the Obama Foundation does. I signed up after he left office. I signed up to their newsletters, and they are very much, the Obama Foundation, focusing on preparing the next generation of leaders. And so some of what she's done in the past is continuing on. Of course, as First Lady, she introduced various measures. Unfortunately, some were discontinued when the next person ascended to the presidency. But anyway, such an inspiration. Her book Becoming is a bestseller. Let's take a look at what makes Michelle Obama tick. What makes Michelle Obama tick? What makes Michelle Obama tick? Why is she such an inspiration? Why is Michelle Obama such an inspiration? Okay. I feel that she has never lost, and this is something I intuitively pick up with her. I feel she's never lost that that innocence. When I say innocence, I'm just seeing her as a child. She always looked up. She never looked down. And I feel that she had a level of happiness, even though, now that's where that some of those quotes would come from. When they go low, we go high. Because what I'm seeing her as a child, that she wasn't brought down by other people's slings and arrows, which is quite interesting because she had to sustain such a massive attack when she was in the White House. So she has not lost that kind of innocence that you know, when you lose innocence, it can turn into bitterness, it can turn into cynicism when you're disappointed in life, but she didn't ever allow that to get to her. Now, I wonder why. I wonder what will show up in her chakra reading. Let me just tune back into her and see what else I can pick up. Show me a Michelle Obama. Oh yeah, she really cares. She really cares about other people. So I would assume that her chakra, her heart chakra, is wide open. I feel she approaches things with a heart-centered approach. So what you see with Michelle Obama is what you get, and that's very important as well. I'd like to see how she managed all the barrage of racism that was directed at her and her husband during the White House years. I suspect that is probably why she doesn't want to venture back in there, because she gave her all over those 8 years. And now it's probably time for herself and to do the things that to do her important work without having to put up with those, with that racist barrage of negativity. All right, so let's have a look. But that's not to say there's not a role for her in a future democratic government. But back to her chakras. Okay, Michelle Obama. All right, show me. I'm like the 7 chakras, from the base chakra to the sacral chakra to the solar plexus chakra to the heart chakra to the throat chakra to the third eye chakra to the crown chakra. Her connection with the divine. Show me really what is an energetic blueprint, an energetic signature of Michelle Obama. What drives her in all of those various, through all those various chakras, and what they resonate with. So the energy of Michelle Obama. Show me the energy. 7 cards, the energy. Yeah. So I got her children coming into the frame there. So there is a quote here that says that she describes herself as a mother, and she's being entirely truthful there. So the base chakra, okay, that's interesting. I'll pull the laptop down and you can see how this is unfolding. Yeah, okay, so... Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So what I'm seeing, what's at the base of the pack is the Ace of Swords. There's your truth. There's your sword of truth. Interestingly, in my last video, when I was talking about the sword of truth, that where that is yours for the taking, no one can take that away from you. At the end of my video, for those that didn't stay till the end, just fast forward to the end, the last couple of minutes. As I was talking about the Ace of Swords, the light in the room became quite bright. So here we have somebody in Michelle Obama who brings the light through. and you will know the difference between somebody that brings the light and somebody that brings darkness. So this is someone, that's why we are attracted to her, because of that ability that she has to bring light into the situation. So let's bring the laptop down. There's some interesting cards here, which shows me that why she's in public life and what she's trying to accomplish. But let's have a look. Okay. All right, so we're going to start with her base chakra. She has the Four of Coins. So this is showing me that the way that she grew up, she didn't have a lot. She didn't have untold riches. She had to really make do. I'm thinking from week to week there was this, I guess, this attitude of not overspending. So she's someone that understands what it means to go to go be in the public school system, to not have the wealth and privilege that some are born into. So there is so let me take you through the chakras. We have the base chakra, which is your trust and security in the world. It can also be your career, how you relate generally in the world. And this is where trust issues will show up. This is where stability might show up. And so I can see straight away from this card that her early knowledge of, because the base chakra is associated very much and can be very influential in your early life before you start to develop your spiritual connection and your faith, which I can see also she's got here as well, but we'll get to that. Your base chakra is something that you feel. So she may have felt a little insecure in the world that she lived in. She was a woman, a black woman being raised on the south side of Chicago. She would have known racism. So this is showing me that early start of hers, even though she managed to she learned to stay on the high side of things. So there could have been something in her childhood that made her aware of, you can either go high or you can go low, and look where you're going to end up if you go low. She seems to have overcome an early insecurity about how she relates to the world. So from the base chakra, we go to the sacral chakra, which is confidence, it's creativity, it's sexuality. She's a very confident black woman, and it shows in her sacral chakra. We move to her solar plexus chakra, which is wisdom, awareness, purpose, can be the sort of rite of passage. So I can see early that she became very savvy. She became very savvy around I guess, those in society that seek to take from others. I would assume that when she stood by Donald Trump at that inauguration ceremony, she was absolutely disgusted, because she has a very, very strong wisdom, almost wisdom, around who is doing the right thing and who is doing the wrong thing. So again, you see very strong chakras, and perhaps some early difficulties that she was forced to overcome. So we move from the solar plexus to the heart chakra, and this is probably one of her biggest strengths, this caring, loving light that she brings forward. This is the Hierophant, and it is the number 5. So it's all about self. It's all about learning from lessons, and still at the end of the day, as much as you're knocked down, you continue to have faith. That faith comes from a higher source. So at the heart level, she would be a very, very devout, I I'm not going to say religious person, but her faith in God is so very strong, and it comes from love. She's got a lot of determination as well, determination to keep to that high road, because there's nothing more powerful than love, and she understands that. Then we move to her communication, her throat chakra. Now we do have the Eight of Swords, so she could also be, she could also struggle a little bit with her thoughts, not around allowing her thoughts to imprison her, but she could worry about her family. So there could have been a point in the presidency where she felt restricted. So this is the card of feeling restricted. Sorry, when she was First Lady, her husband's presidency. This is the card of feeling restricted. This is why she lets her hair go in its natural style. This is a woman in her communications, the way that she communicates, that does not like to be restricted. Okay. Then we move to our third eye. Now, again, I see the advocate. I see the lawyer. I see somebody who would denounce an abuse of power. She is very suited for the Aquarian age, where we actually, and I can see why she might have been attracted to initially to her husband, because she actually wants to fight against abuse of power. She wants to, work for those that, or this again is borne out in her career, working for those that have had things taken away from them as a result of an abuse of power. So she, in some ways, is almost a little bit revolutionary. And then we go to the crown chakra and we have the Five of Coins. It's interesting when we make our contracts to come into this life. We choose the parents that we're going to be with. We choose the experience we're going to have. And this is someone in her connection with the divine who wants to open the door of the church and let everyone in. She chose to come into parents who perhaps didn't have much financially, that perhaps went from paycheck to paycheck. She chose her situation so that she could work for the betterment of humanity and also the betterment of African Americans as well. With these two cards, the Seven of Swords and the Five of Swords, her work isn't done yet in terms of equality, which is interesting. Now, the Ace of Swords at the base of the pack, the overall energy, if you like, of the reading at this time, she is. This is talking about new starts for her. So there could be something new that she does. I'm not saying she's going to become the VP, but she might take a position in Biden's government. There is a new start coming for her, but we'll do that. We'll do that reading further down the track, or after we've done this. Let's clarify these chakras. Very interesting chakra reading, starting with the base chakra. Starting with this base chakra, show me this Four of Coins. Not having perhaps what others may have had, having to learn to do with less. Growing up, I'm not going to say poor, but I don't think she was absolutely poor, but she, as I said, this was paycheck to paycheck. Now something wants to fall out. Let's see what that is. Okay, so we've got the Moon card. So there could have been, as I said, this early confusion here. Something might have occurred earlier on in her life where she had to make a decision about whether she kept her thoughts high, or she may have seen what happens when you don't keep those thoughts positive. But because she was always going to overcome any sort of difficulties, because she's got this faith card, this Hierophant card in the heart chakra. That is extremely powerful, extremely powerful. So let's have a look at this Four of Pentacles. Four of Pentacles. Show me this Four of Pentacles. Yeah, she may have been at some point a little bit solitary. This is somebody that thought a lot, perhaps early in her life, had a lot of introspection, may have been confused about what she saw early on, because I feel that she learnt the lesson very strongly. There could have even been, and I don't know the history, I don't know her history, but there could have been an early passing of a relative that affected her quite strongly. And we do have the Empress Abundance. So at some point something changed for her in her childhood. Very early on she made a decision about how she was going to tackle the divide between the rich and the poor, and what she was going to do about it. So I can see that her foundation is always going to be to help others step up. All right, let's take a look at this Knight of Cups in the Sacral chakra. So this is someone who has she's extremely confident in her own sexuality. She's she's a romantic person as well. I know that she says she wasn't, that Barack Obama was, her husband was, but I'm seeing here that she was actually quite romantic herself. In terms of creativity, she's a live wire. She would be the one who would chime in with suggestions, who would win over the crowd. When she speaks as a public speaker, this is some of the reasons why we're drawn to her. So show me this Knight of Cups, please. Show me the Knight of Cups. Show me this Knight of Cups. Okay, so we have the King of Pentacles. Very much she was destined to have this one love in her life, and she also works from the subconscious as well, because this is the High Priestess. Now this is indicating, now I'm not going to say she's the woman behind the man, because I don't like saying that, but what these cards are showing me is just how much she supported her husband, and just how much these ideas that permeated in her subconscious were brought through. So I'm looking at these cards and thinking that she actually contributed a lot when Obama was in the presidency. This is the Strength card. It was a team. It was a team. All right, so let's take a look at this next chakra, which is quite fascinating to me. This is fighting other people's battles. This is understanding what is nefarious and what is not, and then doing something about it. I definitely see, just going back to this Knight of Cups in the Sacral chakra, I definitely see her huge involvement in the Obama Foundation. So let's take a look at this Seven of Swords. Show me this Seven of Swords. It's an Aquarian energy. And it's also the shadow, the moon side. So understanding, as I said, the nefarious side. It's no wonder her face was so grim when she stood beside Trump. So show me this at the inauguration. Show me this Seven of Swords, please. It is in the solar plexus chakra, wisdom. She learnt very early on, I feel. She's been learning all her life about the, I guess, the hidden or the negative side of our society, what is wrong, who takes what from others. Show me this Seven of Swords. Competition as well. She learned early about that. Now look, we've got miracles, breakthroughs, and wish fulfillment. So she's actually doing something about that knowledge. And here's our Knight of Cups. This is why she's such a drawn-on public speaker. She's speaking in public. There's that Knight of Cups again. And we've got the Six of Wands. This is why she can tell young black women that they can succeed, that they can become the President of the United States. Wow, beautiful energy there in that solar plexus chakra from her own wisdom, from what she's learned in life. She's imparting that to others. That's why people say, "Oh, she would make such a good vice president." But I do feel there's another role for her. But we'll pull those cards. Let's have a look at the heart chakra. Very, very strong. The Hierophant card. She is linked to a higher source, because that's what the Hierophant card is. It is our connection with the divine, and also our faith in God, in the spirit, the great spirit. Let's just have a look at this faith card, this Hierophant card. Show me. She's determined with this as well. This is why I saw her not giving in early childhood and making a decision. Her faith got her through. All right, show me this five, this Hierophant card, this heart chakra. Show me this heart chakra of Michelle Obama's. Okay, so we've got the Four of Cups. Again, this is what I said. She learned early on, whatever was lost, she looks for that cup that is still remaining, and she has faith that that cup that is still remaining. I'm getting really, really huge chills and quite emotional. She has faith that that cup that is still remaining will come to fruition. And that is the kind of faith that propels Michelle Obama and leads to new starts. What a beautiful, beautiful heart chakra Michelle Obama has. What a beautiful moment there. I'm so glad I did this reading today. She looks for the cup that is remaining despite disappointment. She finds it, and that leads to renewed inspiration and a plan and a project. She is a very able person. No wonder you want her for your VP. Let's take a look at her throat chakra, a lady that does not like to be restricted. She would have found some elements of being a first lady quite restrictive. So she'll want to speak her mind, and she'll want roles where she has freedom in the future. Show me this Eight of Swords. Show me this Eight of Swords. Yeah, here we go. So she always has a plan at the subconscious level. She has a plan to break free, so to speak. And the Seven of Cups. All right, so this is around making choices. So she will find it difficult. People will want to push her one way, and she will find it difficult to make that choice because she doesn't want to let people down. But she's such a determined person with this High Priestess. She's got the plans, at the back of in her subconscious that are waiting to come forward, that I don't think she's going to allow herself to be restricted for too long. No, this is what... Oh dear, she's quite... I'm just tuning into her energy, and she's quite... what's the word? She'll be recalcitrant, but she'll also be quite cheeky about it as well. If someone tells her not to do something, she's going to do it. And she's going to do it very, very quickly with this Eight of Wands. But she might struggle initially, but she always has that plan. Okay, so interesting. You can't hold her down. She doesn't like restriction. Let's move to the third eye chakra. The third eye chakra is our intuition, can be our purpose in life, what we came in here to do. In astrology, we look to our nodes to give us that information. So our third eye chakra, she's got the Five of Swords, which is standing up to bullies. And she might do unexpected things to accomplish that. All right, so show me this. She can pick a bully a mile away, I feel. Show me this Five of Swords. Five of Swords. Okay. She probably can really talk her way around those bullies as well. That's interesting. Queen of Cups, yeah. She feels quite emotional about abuses of power. Yeah. And I'm just getting a pull toward toward Trump here as well. She has when she's makes a commitment, a contract with those around her in her life. She honors those commitments. She would not like commitments to be broken. She would take that quite seriously. She will also speak out about abuse of power. That's what I'm feeling with this Queen of Cups. Okay, now her connection to the divine. As I said, when we come into this earthly life, we choose. So we choose our parents, we choose our circumstances, we choose our major milestones, we choose what formulates us. And she has the 5 of coins, which is money loss. It can be going without. It can be understanding why some are shut out and why others are let into the church. So you can see why her chakras outfit her, and particularly with that strong heart chakra, why she's been able to go high rather than go low. When she taught, I haven't read Becoming, but I probably should, because I feel that kind of sums her up. Becoming, what were the things that formulates who she is. So show me this 5 of coins, this crown chakra again as our connection to the divine. Show me this 5 of coins. Balance. She wants to work for equality, temperance and healing. I'm just being pulled to the light, coming up on that horizon. Yeah, she understands loss. So she is a very compassionate person, I think, because she has experienced it herself. And this is her talking about it, bringing it forward, offering people who she is. So she will always play a role. Yeah, she will always play a role in public life. And I do feel that she's not done yet. I feel there's a role for her in Biden's government. I did get a strong impression that they may have been re-talking to her just recently, in the last week or 2 weeks, about whether or not she's changed her mind. I still don't think that she has, but she could still be talking to them about what role she might play in a Biden government. So let's have a look. The question you want answered, and I've answered this before, but we'll update it. Is she going to be Biden's VP? Let's have a look at this. Giving the cards quite a good shuffle. Is she going to be Biden's VP? Biden's VP. Will she be Biden's VP? Yeah, I do feel that she has had discussions. I'm just seeing her. Really, maybe they met for dinner, had some wine. I'm just seeing some talks around in a very relaxed kind of atmosphere. Will she be Biden's VP? I'm just getting no. So I don't think my last reading has changed, but I get the Chariot. So that is a yes card. All right, let's pull a Celtic Cross. So she's definitely been approached. I think again, my feeling is again, she's been told that the speed of disintegration at the moment under this current regime demands that people come forward. Yeah, but what's challenging her is being so in the public eye. It's the headlines, it's the media, it's what she went through when she was there as First Lady. And that's the headlines. That would be all that again. Foundation of the reading, though, again for the greater good, this spy in the camp. I was going to say treasonous times demand sacrifices of everybody, but yeah, this is the need for action at this time, and it's quite strong. I'm feeling that the leaders or former leaders or those that are leading at the moment, perhaps less publicly, are terribly worried about what is going on in terms of your economy, in terms of your national security, and in terms of your stability. Yeah, look, I'm getting some lovely, she's inspired, she'll campaign for Biden. This is the Ace of Wands. This is a new project, a new plan, a new start, which is interesting because that's in the potential future position. Let's have a look at, oh dear, the Ace of Swords in the near future. I do feel she's going to come out and talk more between now and the election. Both she and her husband, Barack Obama, are going to be speaking and bringing forward plans. They could even be, now this was all in the timing, they waited for a particular time. I feel this is all around communication and a project. I feel that we're going to see a lot more of the Obamas publicly now, even though it's probably not her favourite place, because I've got the Nine of Wands here. When I say that, you know, those controlled situations where she is addressing a group of young black women, where she is speaking to an auditorium and inspiring, that is where she is in her element. But this is a fairly divided, unstable environment at the moment. And again, she's not someone who wants that restriction. However, the environment is around is the Two of Wands, things improving in time, but having to play a waiting game. She has decisions to make with this Two of Swords. She understands that things are at the crossroads. Look, I'm getting some good cards. I feel that she has been given a project or is working on a project where she will be communicating very strongly in the next few months about those that have been shut out from society, excluded. She could even announce a new project that she's working on. Will she be Biden's VP? Base of the pack, we've got the Three of Wands, waiting. Again, Wands, inspiration, projects, waiting for something to, for that ship to come through. But then we have the Six of Wands, which is victory over the Four of Pentacles. So this is insecurity. Again, worrying about what, the downsides again, and having to go to the high side. She also knows things about this regime, the leader of this regime here. She knows things that we don't, and she knows who he may well be tied to. Okay, this reading isn't about him, so I'm not going to stray any further. She understands the graveness of the situation. All my cards are saying she's going to be given something. I don't think it's the VP position. I think it's more because we've got the Magician card. I feel this is more, she will be campaigning for Biden. We're going to be hearing a lot about her. Even in her own foundation, she's going to be launching something very, very soon. Is she going to be the VP? I'm just going to clarify. I do have a lot of yes cards, but I'm still going with my intuition in thinking that I think it's more if it's not a cabinet, possibly a cabinet or a some kind of agency or something. She will be given something of her own in the Biden presidency. So yes, she will, and she'll take on quite significant duties in that. So let's have a look at this Eight of Wands. Please clarify that. Is she going to be the VP, Biden's VP? Please clarify that. Page of Cups. We've got some surprise news, and we've got the Nine of Cups. I know I ruled that out before, but here we go. Here we go, the Knight of Cups here again. Let me just draw another one. King of Swords. Logic, objectivity. we are going to hear something, an announcement about her in the near future. We're going to feel like it's a wish fulfillment. It's going to attract a lot of headlines. I'm cautious here because one side of me is saying no, but the other side is saying I can't rule it out because of the positivity of these cards. If it's not the VP, she's going to be working very closely with a new government, and you're going to be very, very lucky to have her. So that is the chakra reading on Michelle Biden. It's pretty thorough, so that's why I've taken the time on this. Thank you for tuning in. And this is somebody that does inspire us, and they inspire us because they've overcome what could have made someone else cynical and bitter. She's overcome that insecurity in so many ways, to really reach the heights of her purpose and her reason for coming through here. Her work is not done. I would say that last reading showed that her work is not done in the public eye, and we will be seeing her more of Michelle Obama in the future. So someone that can inspire you. She's chosen to go high when others go low. All right, thank you for that. Tuning in.